going on, guys? This is Evan, the Dark Souls enthusiast here, bringing you another gameplay commentary for the Xbox 360 version of Dark Souls. This is going to be part 5 of my Elly commentary series, which I've elaborated on every video previous to this one. You see us coming in right after the Hydra boss fight, walking to the very back of the area, following the left wall behind where the Hydra was, which is going all the way back, and behind it is this crystal golem. It's gold. Inside the gold crystal golem, which really is particularly harder than a regular crystal golem, the Dusk of Oolacile is trapped, which is a sort of a hidden NPC that teaches you a variety of really interesting sorceries, and she really unlocks a set of items that are crucial to numerous different character builds, and I'll elaborate on all her different items and things when the time comes. But it's important first to point out what's important to Elly as opposed to just important in general. She has the Crown of Dusk, or rather, rescuing her gives you access to the Crown of Dusk, and the Crown of Dust boosts sorceries and miracles by 20% while making you, I believe, 20% weaker to magic of any kind from others. So, the Crown of Dusk will boost pyromancy, intelligence spells like sorceries, and miracles all, but it'll make you weaker to all of them as well. So, high risk, high reward, but definitely something I'm interested in having in my arsenal. I don't know if it'll be like a regular equip, but it's for sure something I want to have, on my character at any given time if I feel like I want to switch into Wrath spam mode in PvP and just noob somebody out. I for sure want the option, and it's a pretty cool character to unlock anyway. Make sure when she asks you if you're interested, you say yes, because if you say no, she'll fade and be gone forever, and you just basically miss out on that playthrough. And really, she has a whole bunch of spells, and they're all pretty interesting. I can't cast any of them, which is tragic, but she has a particular catalyst, which is really important too. But in any case, the first things first, we're going to go about acquiring her armor set. I'm running away from there so I can show you guys the path to get to the Crystal Golem, because I realized the video cut in. I started recording after I was almost already up on it, so I'm just showing you the complete walk back. Be careful to the very far left where the Hydra was. There is that drop. I know I've pointed it out numerous times, but I died to that drop, and that's not particularly cool to me. So, well, anyway, I'll go ahead and pull back to here, and I'll have to save quit load. To make the armor set appear, you have to go back to where the Crystal Golem was, but unfortunately you have to save load because that refreshes the game, just like as if you were killing a Crystal Gecko or trading with the Crow, etc. Save load does all sorts of magic on this game. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and save load it here in a minute in the gameplay. I believe I'm looking for her summon sign. I wanted to see if you could summon her without save loading, but it looks like you have to save load to do either. Excuse me, save load to do either. So here we go. Someone had asked me in another video what that little emblem is. It's the Line Arc emblem from Armored Core for Answer. Just figured I'd answer that in video. By the way, For Answer is another From Software game, so it's even more appropriate for these gameplay commentaries. I almost did it as my channel emblem, but I kind of like that custom emblem I made on Black Ops, even though it's asymmetrical and imperfect. But hey, I think that kind of describes my commentary style. Imperfect, but hopefully still good, just like the emblem, right? Yeah, encouragement for Evan. But anyway, there's her summon sign where you can summon her. I, of course, am not going to do so right away. Oh, looks like I did. I'm sorry. This video was recorded like long ago, guys. I'm probably up to like part 50 or something on the actual gameplay on my hard drive, and I just have to commentate and catch up. That's why I've been trying to throw these out there as quick as I can. You'll see the most important thing from her ever is to learn proper bow, because it looks much cooler than regular bow. Here's all her spells and that catalyst. I'll elaborate on all of those while I grab the armor set after I'm done in dialogue with her and stuff. Of course, you can look all these up on a wiki, but I think I'm going to go ahead and include the descriptions here because we have plenty of time in this video. The second half of this video is just going to be running all the way to the Magic Ember to grab that.
For a very long time.
It's not hard to find, it's just right past the forest, but like I said, a completionist has to show just about everything they find even remotely important to the character, so it'll be in there. But in the meantime, we'll explore her dialogue a little bit because she's sort of a middle game NPC. And I think her story is interesting. While it's not thoroughly elaborated on, like most things in Dark Souls, it's not largely elaborated on. Not even the main story is thoroughly explored. it's still interesting to see.
They're somewhat of an approximate.
So this is gonna be sort of a ramble commentary. I felt like I should include this, but there's not a whole lot of significance going on besides the acquisition of items and the purchasing of. Well, nothing she sells is really of importance, but learning the gesture is of utmost importance. If I didn't learn proper bow on this character, I'd probably restart her. Well, I wouldn't restart her, but I just hurry up to New Game Plus so that she'd come back and I could learn proper bow because it's just too cool to pass up. But enough about that. I'm actually going to start elaborating on the different spells she sells and what they do and what potential uses might be. So I'm going to be looking at a notepad here because I didn't commit them all to memory. So I apologize if my audio gets a little wonky as I look down to read here and there, but I didn't really want to like memorize and rehearse like it was a class or something, you know. Anyway, enough justification and false laughter. She sells Hidden Body, which is like a fog ring. It doesn't prevent lock-on, it just makes you harder to see, just like the fog ring. But they do stack, so using them together makes you practically invisible or near transparent, which is really funny if you're into like dark Anor Londo invasions. Equip like a rapier or a bandit dagger or something with a really high critical hit to the back, and at that point you can use Dark Moonblade to buff its damage off your faith, and you'd have a really damaging weapon at that point. Then you equip Ring of Fog, Hornet's Ring to boost your backstab damage, and then you cast Hidden Soul, and you'd be really hard to see, and you could jump somebody for a tremendous amount of damage. I mean, it would be fantastic. So I don't know if I'll ever make that character build, but one thing's for sure, it would be cool to do, and I think someone already did it on YouTube, so if you're interested, you can try to look that up. I'm not going to link it in my description, though. Next is Cast Light. That's pretty self-explanatory. You cast it and it makes light. Fantastic in the Tomb of the Giants and Dark Anor Londo, I guess, but as a rule, not a required thing to have, just nifty from time to time. Let's see what else to show. Repair. Now, Repair just repairs your armor and weapons. It's a one-time cast per stack in your inventory, which is admittedly pretty useful. While it's not really a requirement for like any character because you have plenty of stacks anyway. If you're using like a dragon weapon, so you have a special like two-handed attack, or really if you have any special ability on your weapon that drains durability, like you know, use the Moonlight Sword to throw energy blasts, or you use Drake's Sword to send the shockwave a lot, you know, use Ornstein Spear to shoot lightning. If you find yourself breaking your weapon from time to time, having Repair in an attunement slot might be worth it, just to have it on hand in case you needed it to repair your stuff. A lot of builds use, you know, hybrid into intelligence to get crystal magic weapon and things like that. So I can see it being viable for very specific uses, and it's neat that it's included in the game. I'm a big fan. I guess you save like, maybe if you used it for multiple playthroughs, you could save a couple thousand souls in repair bills, but it certainly wouldn't be worth it. Next up is Chameleon. That's probably the coolest spell in the game. Its use is pretty much PvP limited, but you turn yourself into an inanimate object, like literally your character will convert into like a pot or something like that, which is really funny for invasions. If you like turn into a pot and hide in a bunch of other pots. Now the issue is once you invade, people will be looking for the person who invaded, so they'll probably know to attack pots. But if you run into someone who's never seen the spell before, you can blend in with stuff around you, hence the name Chameleon. Break out of the pot and they look the wrong way and get like a free backstab or a free cast. It really is a neat spell, but its use is limited. Hidden Weapon is another PvP only sort of spell, but it's neat. It just hides whatever weapon's in your right weapon, so I don't know. I've never really used it before. I mean, I know what it does. I've tested it, but I've never found a specific use for it. But I could see where I could if you wanted to like rush somebody down with it and bring the beats. That would be pretty cool. That's all the spells she sells, and of course she has the antiquated set, which comes with a Crown of Dusk, which is increased sorcery damage. So if you have anything to do with sorcery, she's a really interesting character to, you know, it's pretty much an essential character to make sure you meet. And on the other hand, if you're Faith, then probably just the Crown is a lot useful, and all characters need a meter to learn proper bow. Now, that's like a requirement. If you don't learn proper bow, your character's incomplete, as far as I'm concerned. One more thing about her that's actually really important is that she sells the Ivory Catalyst, the Oolacile, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry. Ivory Catalyst, and it has an intelligence requirement of 12 to equip, which is really low, but it doesn't actually increase your sorcery's power by your intelligence stat. It's just allows you to cast sorceries at a specific point, and that's how it is. That is a fantastic catalyst for so many character builds. You can get Crystal Magic Weapon later in the game, and that adds a tremendous amount of damage to your weapon based on your magical adjustment. Basically, it takes your magical adjustment, assigns that an attack value based off that adjustment, and then puts it on the weapon. Sort of like just like any other buff, but it's arguably the second most powerful buff in the game, only second to Dark Moonblade, which you have to put a lot of time into. Lots of character builds that are PvP rely strictly on that. They get just enough intelligence to use Crystal Magic Weapon, which will also be enough to use the Ivory Catalyst. The Ivory Catalyst does not scale with your intelligence, so you're not obligated to pump intelligence, and it's fantastic. Tremendous amount of damage added to your weapon, essential on many character builds, but not Elly. Elly doesn't use it. She doesn't use any sorceries, but that's really all I had to say. Thank you for watching, guys, on my little lecture about some of the more hidden spells in the game that might be a little harder to get. I appreciate you guys watching, and please stick with me for the rest of the series. Alright, everyone take care.